Hi everybody, welcome back. So I was thinking I wanted to do a short video on ice safety and the equipment that I kind of use to get out on the ice safe and the precautions I take and so on and so forth. So I wanted to make the first part of the video the equipment as far as the clothing and stuff that I wear to stay safe on the ice. So here it is. First part, the jacket. It's the Ice Armor by Clam. It's a very nice jacket, keeps you warm. It's got all these features. It's got magnetic buttons here, plenty of pockets, very, very warm. If you wear even just a hoodie underneath it, it'll keep you warm all day long. It has a nice hood in the back. There's drawstrings. It's got everything. All right, so the second part is the bibs. These bibs are fantastic. I highly recommend them. There's a lot of companies that do make great bibs, but the ones that I have, I'm very happy with them. I've had this set with the jacket and the bibs for roughly 4 or 5 years. This particular one, Ice Armor by Clam, motion float scent. And again, there's plenty of features with this. There's 2 nice pockets below for keeping certain things. You know, you have pockets up front on the top here for keeping your keys. Your phone will fit in here. Any other things that you need. It has straps. It also has a thing, you know, like a waterproof case in the inside for a phone or to keep something from getting wet. Next is the boots. Footwear, very important. You want to make sure that your feet are going to stay dry and warm all day long. I actually have these lacrosse ones. They're quite old. They're probably 20 years plus, but lacrosse is still in business. They make fantastic footwear, you know, for the winter time and the cold weather. I'll link their website down below. You can go and check them out, but these are the lacrosse ones. I'm not sure of the model because they're quite old. I've been out in 0-degree weather, 10-degree weather. My feet have been warm all day long. Footwear, very important. Next thing for safety, ice picks. So what you're going to do is they connect together like this. And you want to always wear these even before you step foot on the ice, to have these things around your neck. They look like this when you put them on. So basically you keep them like this with the strap around the back of your neck, and they're always in front of you. In case you did fall through, unstrap them like this. You would use the spikes to basically, if you know your half of your body is still afloat, use the picks to get out, pull yourself up over the ice and get out of your situation. So like I said, the whole point of this video is to keep everybody aware of the precautions you want to take before you go out on the ice, meaning you want to have the correct equipment, bibs, your jacket, your boots, gloves, hat, all that stuff, you know, safety equipment as far as rope, ice spikes. Always try to bring a friend with you when you go. Let people know where you're going. I'm going to attach a few things, documents on here that I follow as far as ice thickness and how thick it may be over, you know, days, weeks, even hours, depending on what temperatures are. I think it's a good, you know, piece of information to follow, and always stay aware of, you know, your surroundings as far as before you even step foot on the ice. How thick is it? We'll go over all that stuff when I get to the pond with the spud bar. I think it's a good thing for ice safety, and, you know, keeps everybody aware and safe. All right, so we'll head over there. We'll see you in a few minutes. All right, so we're here at the local pond, and we're going to go over a couple things about ice safety. So here's the thing. I always carry a spud bar with me. All right, one of the most important tools you can have before you go out on the ice. Now, the biggest question is ice thickness, right? How thick does ice have to be before you go on it? For me, generally, I don't like to go on anything less than 4 inches. And there's a lot of things that come into play as far as when the ice does freeze. You know, there may be a lot of wind, parts of the pond or the lake that have, you know, springs. There might be coves that are deeper than others. You know, there's a lot of variables. So general rule of thumb, 4 inches of ice, nothing less. All right. Before I even go out, I like to spud my way out, meaning I check from the edges of the lake or the pond. If I can go through in any less than 3 good hits, I would say it's less than 3 inches then. Every hard hit is about 1 inch of ice that you can get through, depending on how hard you hit it. So like you see here, I'm going to hit it hard once. Right, that almost went through. So I would say it's probably about 1.5 inches here. You can see water seeping through. I actually found these charts online, and I will link the description below. It's right here. I would say this is a great guideline, baseline for following as far as ice thickness, how long it takes for ice to become thick enough over a period of hours, days, weeks, months, so on and so forth. I think it's a really good thing to follow. I follow it every year. I'm a fanatic with weather. I check the weather and the temperatures during the winter, you know, every 12 hours, every day. I look to see how the weather was and what it's going to be. And I take that all into consideration before going out on the ice as far as, you know, what to expect as far as the thickness. But I always do check it before I go out. So like I said, I'm going to show you with the spud bar, you know, how I test it. So generally, if it's less than 4, I don't even go on it. Right, I check it from the edges first, because usually the edges are the first things that freeze here. As you see, it's a little bit, you know, the edges have a different color. Out there's different shades you know, you have like the middle, it looks like there's kind of a, you know, check it as you go out. You have your float suit, your bibs, your spikes on you like I showed you guys earlier, and you kind of just follow that. So for here, for example, I'm just going to show you, I don't think it's any, you know, any more than 2.5 inches of ice. Example, we had very, very cold weather come in last Thursday. Okay, so we are today Sunday. We had cold weather come in on Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it was cold with an average temperature of like 10 degrees, right? It got super cold Saturday down to 0, but I would say this pond was probably locked up by Friday. So we had all of Saturday, you know, and then some of today for it to, you know, freeze underneath a little bit more. But I could just see visually, you know, as it goes out a little bit further, that it looks less thick, right? So like 1, 2, you know, like right there, that's only 1, like 2 pops right there. So as you can see, it's probably only about 1.5 inches of ice. All right, so I just poked a little hole here, and this is enough to stand on right here. But this right here is only about inch, a little over 1 inch, right? So as you can see, average temperature of like 10 degrees for 3 days. This is only 1 inch of ice, not enough. So even before putting my life in danger, I check thoroughly all parts of the pond before going out. Generally, you know, for little ponds and lakes that I go on all the time, I access them the same spots all the time. I do check them before I go on, but I usually access the same spots. You're gonna see different shades of ice. So, you know, some shorelines may have a little bit more ice than others, possible, but we always check before we go on, like over here. See how this is a little different color here? It's just because this probably froze first. So I could see out there, there's an exit hole where the pipe runs out, where the water kind of drains out of this pond. And that's an example of, you know, kind of like almost like a spring where the water is constantly moving and going out. That's going to be the last part that freezes or almost freezes. Those are the spots that you want to definitely stay away from. But I'm going to, you know, just take you on a quick walk of this pond, use examples, and show you spots that are thicker than others. This spot here, we'll do the same thing. We're going to pop a hole. 1, 2, 3. It's thicker here, right? Can't even get through. So it's probably a good, I would say 3 inches over here. But it's a good prime example of how the pond has different thicknesses because it froze different areas froze at different times, right? So let's just pull some of this ice out, and we'll kind of measure with our hands. So over here, I know it's only up to my ankles deep, but over here we have, oh, about 3 inches of ice. Right, so you can see this area that's like kind of more white. This is where it froze first, probably like Thursday night. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it got thicker here. But out there, I would say if I walked out there, which I'm not going to do because I don't have my float suit on, this is just for an example of giving you guys, 2 inches there. Right. So we'll take a walk to a couple other spots and I'll show you. Over here, there's a lot going on, right? 1, 2, 3. Probably about, all right. Can't even get through. Right, so like 3 hits, 4 hits, 5 hits, you know, probably 3 inches of ice. But bad news right there. Moving water does not freeze, as you can see. Check another spot. Looks to be the same over here. Out there, it looks like you have open water. That little section right there, I could see it's open water. So as you would go out further and further and further, it would get less and less thick, right? And that's trouble. But like I said, if you do get out onto a good 4 inches of ice, and you're gonna, you know, you're getting out there just to walk or even go ice fishing, I would say even if you're moving spots from, you know, 4 or 5 feet from where you are, still spud, right? Still spud your area and find out to see how thick it is, because the ice thickness can change in a matter of 2 feet. All right, so we're back where we started, and we're just gonna do a quick recap of what we talked about. Equipment to use as far as clothing. Float suit, meaning a good jacket, bibs, boots, gloves, hat. Those are not as important, but the float suit, which the bibs and the jacket, very important to have those things, especially if you're just going out walking on the ice. Ice thickness, we want to go over that. I want to show you guys the link again. All of the links are going to be in the description below here. The website is here. I highly recommend check that website out, read it thoroughly, follow the charts. They help out more than I can tell you guys. And those are the basics, the guidelines that I follow. You know, and it's helped me throughout the years. You know, I'm older now. I don't need to be getting myself into a situation where I don't belong, in danger. So I try to follow these things, and I just, you know, I use my instinct, and I just, you know, try to stay safe with everything. So I hope this helps everybody out. Again, the links are below here. Check them all out as far as the equipment that I use and the charts for the ice thickness. All right, talk to you guys soon.